welcome to episode 2 in our Park Life City Skylines series. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm not going to do a sort of introduction, do a bit of commentary over the top of the time lapse. I don't know if you guys will prefer it. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this style of video rather than just going to time lapses with music over them. So in this one I'm going to be doing a kind of nature reserve thing. We're going to be doing that, but first I did play around with this bit. I wasn't sure what to put in the middle of these roads just here. That road leads up to our industrial area, so a train line seems like a really good idea to go between the middle of those roads. It took a little bit of experimenting to get it right. Yeah, I'm pleased with how it looks in the end. You can see me fiddling around with the tracks here, trying to make them even and straight, but they work out pretty well. We've also got prop line tool back in the game. It has been fixed by the developer, which is awesome. So I have used that a little bit between the episodes, decorated out the walkway that goes up to the Foxton Eye, or London Eye as it was originally called. So I'll show that in the cinematics at the end of the video. So right now I'm just putting down some more train lines. This is going to be a goods line that you're seeing here. I'm going to be going back to that and probably make sure that it can connect in every direction as well. So this bit is where I'm just doing a small suburban area. I kind of tried to avoid making it too gridded and make it look a tiny bit more organic. I do start off with a grid and then I stick in some squiggly sort of avenues and some smaller roads going off the sides of them as well. I did during this episode try using the network skins mod. It's not something I've used heavily in the past, or really I'm not that familiar with how to use it, but I think it might be broken. Somebody else told me that it was broken. I don't know for sure for myself, but it does look like that may be the case, so I'll probably look at that in a future episode and hope to be able to use it as well. I have cut out a hell of a lot in this video, just cutting out doing water pipes and power lines, just because it kind of looks boring and it's jarring to watch when it goes into that sort of X-ray view. And this area now is being populated, or zoned rather. Cut out a bit there where I just sat and watched the whole thing grow, making it look more suburban and sort of prettier by sticking some trees down as well. And I have been listening, I have been using more custom trees that are from the workshop. Probably going to need to get the unlimited trees mod pretty soon. I did at one point run out and I deleted a load that were just at the edge of the map, which you can't see and you wouldn't notice, but it did give me a lot more trees to play with, but probably going to run out. Here you can see I'm getting rid of some of the zoning. There's something weird going on with the zoning in my city. I feel like the whole thing is like one zone, but I can't like identify what it, I don't know, I'm not sure what it is that's going on. So I'm making this area into a park, and then on the top of it we're going to put sort of campsites and things like that. Putting this path around the edge, like zigzagging up the side of the mountain. It doesn't look much now, but once I put some trees and bushes and all that sort of thing in, it looks pretty nice. I'm still undecided what to do for the third episode in this series. I may do an inner city zoo, a larger park, or maybe a more full theme park. I'm not 100% sure on that just yet. I haven't got that far in my thought process. But if you have any suggestions, that'd be awesome. Just leave them down in the comments as usual. I always read all your suggestions and comments. I absolutely love reading what you guys leave me. Now you can see I'm putting down the trees and just sort of exchanging some of the trees as well. I'm also going to put a second entrance and then put the paths around the rest of the mountain, basically following the mountain with this new pathing tool. These paths are technically networks, I'm told, which is quite interesting. So they just sort of stretch and you can drag them around like roads and make curves and things like that, which is something you could do with prop line tool. It's quite an interesting thing. You can snap them to the edges of these entrance buildings as well to create sort of complete enclosed areas. It ends up looking really good. And then on the top of the mountain we're just putting in some campsites. It seems like the the tents and things require a road running to them. You can get away with putting them a little bit away from the road. Not quite sure why some of them were complaining they don't have roads when they were actually closer to ones that weren't complaining. It's a bit strange. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but I managed to get it to work without the road icons being present as well. And now you can see I'm creating some of these sort of viewing areas. There's a load of really awesome assets for these national parks, or nature reserves rather, I suppose they're called. These viewing points are really awesome, so sticking those on the edge of the mountain just made absolute sense. And then I'm going to stick around some like little lodges, and there's a bunch of like more complete campsite assets, which are these like blocks of campsites with fires and things on them. I think those are really cool. I don't know if I've already mentioned it in this series yet, but I am going to be sort of rebuilding some of the things that I really enjoyed doing in the previous series. So we're going to put in a space centre and an airport. I have also decided that the main island, which is connected by a bridge to the main coast, if that makes sense, that's going to be a sort of city. I'm going to build that up really high and make it look really, really pretty from the other side of the coast, with great big skyscrapers and things like that. And the final part of the nature reserve area is this cable car, which is going to go from the top down to the bottom. I did have to remove some of the zoning from the top to be able to place it and put in a small area of road. You'll see me play around with that in a minute. Unfortunately, it can't work without that piece of road, and we need to attach a entrance to the nature reserve to the other side of that as well. There might be a better solution, but I couldn't quite come up with one. It does also mean that cars spawn there, but it does work relatively well. It looks good, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. So we're coming to the end of the time lapse now. I'll leave you with the very few remaining seconds of it, and then at the end of that I'll stick a whole bunch of cinematics showing some stuff that I did before these time lapses off camera. So thank you so very much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, or any suggestions or ideas you have. Give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.